Miata is always the answer, but was a turbo the answer to the Miata? Today, we're doing a complete quick guide to perhaps the ultimate driver's car, the Mazda Speed Miata, perhaps the best Miata. But we gotta go over an overview of it. We gotta say what's different between a standard Miata and a Mazda Speed Miata, followed by a complete, concise review, where we cover everything every other review does, but only in like a minute or two. Following that, a buyer's guide, should you buy one, common problems, and then a mod guide. Let's go. Let's just get straight into the overview. How many of these were made? They are rare. 5,500 roughly were made. Now for the most part it's powered by the exact same 1.8 litre iron block dual overhead cam 4-banger. This time it's got some slightly different pistons to lower the compression ratio since it's boosted, and some ever so slightly stronger rods, which is still pretty weak. But it's got a turbo on it, of course, and it's putting out a bit over 7 pounds of boost. What does this mean it's good for? It's good for about 180 horsepower and 166 pound-feet of torque. Altogether it weighs 1,120 kgs, which is 50 kgs more than a normal Miata. That's because, you know, you got a turbo, intercooler, all the chassis bracing. It's kind of expected. Now we've got some more perfection to add to it. We've got a manual transmission, we've got rear wheel drive, and what this means is that 0 to 100 in stun in 6.1 seconds. But I hear, what's the difference between a normal Miata and a Mazda Speed Miata? Hold up, let's go over that. So first of all, it is lower and it's on some Bilstein shocks. To add to the extra handling, we've got some stiffer roll bars with some chassis bracing. Of course, with all that extra go, we have got the sports spec brakes on it. Add to that the revised steering rack, and even though the engine is the same, it has got a stronger clutch to take the more abuse from that turbo, as well as a slightly revised fourth gear. Now on the interior, you know, you've got your seats and your shifter, which are different. And as you know, there's a lot of cosmetic differences. Your body kit, your lights, your spoiler, and those wheels, which I think are rather ugly. I think they look pretty aftermarket and not nice. Now, how much do you think Mazda Speed charged for all of that? How much? $1,000. Only $1,000. Is there even a car brand nowadays that would charge $1,000 for nicer wheels? That's such a bargain! Not only are the wheels, heck, you got a turbo, the chassis bracing, the exterior, the interior, what? Insane. If you are enjoying, surely drop a like, eh? But with that, let's get into the review, because we want to know what's good and what's bad, and it's only got to take a minute or two, what everyone else says. So let's just start with the pros to make us feel happy. First of all, just gotta say the paint, metallic, Mazda, so good, so pearly. But let's more get into the funner stuff. So, it's got the Miata chassis, it is great, it is playful, you know, the tail likes to come out, but it's still controllable, it's such a joy to drive. The shifter is really nice, short throw with some quick steering, and there's no body roll, and all of this means that the handling is sharp, it is snappy, but it is still controllable. It drives like a Miata, but faster. And a bit sharper, like, how could you be pissed off with that? It's great! But adding the cherry on top, there's the turbo lag. Some people don't like it, but let me tell you, it's fun. It's a big wallop of torque coming at some random point. It's a bit sketchy, but it's exciting.
You have to wait. Was that your fault now from when you said you have to wait? Yeah, you have to Holy wait.
What really adds a cherry on top is the fact that there's no traction control, hydraulic steering, altogether it just feels raw and analog. It's like a proper driver's car should be. And that's really what's missing from all these modern cars, they're just, all your inputs are being filtered. It's like you're playing a game, it's kind of pointless. One more good thing is the rear end is a 410. That's pretty damn high, and it makes the gears feel really short, which is fun to shift. That's where we get onto the negatives, because that means you've got to shift a lot, and that can get annoying and it hurts your speed, because you have to be shifting all the damn time, which is weird, because the Mazda Speed 3 has like one of the best gear ratios basically ever. And also what is good, but kind of bad, is the lag. Some people don't like it, you know, it's not as crisp, perhaps. Now let's go on to the fully negatives. The cabin is so small, the seating position is so high, especially for people that are not even big, but like above average, you know? Another thing, it's not refined, everything shakes, everything rattles. It is an older Japanese car, but it is also a Miata, so that's what you kind of have to get. Now also, it has got a lower redline than the standard Miata, and also with the lag, it sort of limits where you can use the power. The power band is really short, which, you know, you want a higher redline, you want to wring that power right out. And one last thing, sure it was cheap in the day, but now not so much. It's like a collector's car, it's very rare. So depending on your country, you might be better off just buying a standard Miata and boosting it and adding handling mods yourself. But that's sort of what we're going to get into talking about next. Let's just go on to the buyer's guide. First of all, do you actually want a Mazda Speed Miata? Now my only concern with this is the price in your country. Is it cheaper to buy a Mazda Speed Miata or just buy a standard Miata and mod that up to a Mazda Speed level? Now obviously that's going to be entirely dependent on your country and the pricing. But just sort of for some rough ideas, Fly Miata is a really good company and they do a turbo kit that starts like $3,000. There's turbo kits on eBay for $500 if you want to risk it. Stuff like your brakes, you can go rotors, pads and fluids with braided lines, and that's like $350, while a strut brace is like $200 to stiffen up. Of course then you have body kits, your wheels, and they're both personal preferences, so it really is up to you. Of course those prices can be lower by going with lower quality parts or something that's used, but realize if you build it yourself you can build it to be exactly how you want, you know, with the wheels you want. But the Mazda Speed Miata is stock, so it is built to a relatively good standard.
I think he's gonna blow! Blow her down! She's still breathing!
So you want a Mazda Speed Miata, and we gotta go look at some. So what are some common issues? The main one is what Mazda Speed guys called the bog issue. This is where the car bogs, it stutters and it dies. You know, you'll push on the gas and nothing really happens to the RPMs. Now it may happen one day, and then it won't happen for another like 3 weeks, and then it'll come back. And usually what that is a solenoid will just need cleaning. But yeah, the most common issue, apart from the next one, which is rust. It's an older Mazda, what do you expect? So especially around the wheel arches and the sills, they're quite prone to rusting there. And rust repair is expensive. Other issues there like gear grinds. This is because it has old bushes and the shifter needs a rebuild. But apart from that, it is relatively good, I would say. Let's just roll straight into a mod guide, because we want to make it even damn nicer. Now, main thing people complain about is that rear end. The 410 is so high, the gears feel so damn close together, so you can swap that for a 3.9 or a 3.63. Well, that's a unique way of saying the ratios. Also, in the terms of the driver's side, you know, some bucket seats, perhaps a roll bar, braided brake lines. That's honestly the same as any car. So now let's more specify in the Mazda Speed Miata. Now, one thing I have to say, the stock ECU is really bad for tuning. So if you are wanting to make power, you want to make the most of it, just go for a standalone, you know, $600. You want to make some easy power. Well, an intake and exhaust will get you about 50 wheel horsepower and will take you up to 200 wheel horsepower. Which, in a light car like the Miata is pretty damn good. Now you want some more? If we add some injectors, an intercooler, boost control and other miscellaneous stuff, you can get to about 220 plus wheel horsepower. Now on these, the turbo is good for about 250 wheel horsepower. While the rods can go up to about 270 wheel horsepower reliably, after that you are risking it. And apart from that, it's just, yeah, your normal stuff. Coilovers, wheels, whatever you want. That was a complete quick guide to the Mazda Speed Miata. If you did enjoy, surely a like. And for more Mazda Speed content, drop your boy a sub, surely. Hey. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.